In this video, we're going to take a quick look at what is probably the most respected water filter and purifier on the market and do a quick demo on how to set one up. I'm talking about the Big Berkey water filter. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So the folks at Berkey Water Filters were kind enough to send me one of their Big Berkeys, which is probably one of their most popular models, so I could check it out and show it to you. And what I thought we'd do in this video is instead of me telling you how great this filter is, which really means nothing on video, because you can go to their website and learn all about it and get all the specs and the details and all the independent testing results and all that. They are a very, very well-respected water filter in the survival and preparedness community. And instead of me doing that, I thought I just got this thing out of the box, and maybe I could show you how to put it together and get it started, because it is a little bit of a process, and maybe I thought it'd be easier maybe to show you in a video than have you read the instructions. So if you decide to get your own, maybe this will be a helpful video. So, or if you've already bought your own, maybe it will be. But either way, hopefully it'll be helpful. So speaking of being prepared, before we get started with the water filter, I want to give a quick shout out to my friends at Big Daddy Unlimited. They are one of the biggest supporters of the channel right now. And if you're not familiar with them, they are a membership site where you can become a member for 10 bucks a month, and that gives you the opportunity to buy all sorts of preparedness gear, guns, knives, outdoor stuff, the kind of stuff you and I probably like, at a very substantial discount, because they're allowed to sell it below minimum advertised pricing because it's a membership club. Anyway, I've been a member for a while now. I save more money every single year than my $10 a month membership. But if you want to check it out yourself and see if you think it'd be a good fit, you can get your first 30-day trial membership for just 99 cents by using the link in the video description below. So anyway, thanks again to the folks at Big Daddy Unlimited for being a big supporter of the channel. Now let's talk about the Berkey water filter. Okay, so here is the Big Berkey, and this is the 2 1/4 gallon, 2.25 gallon model. This is the kind of the probably their best selling. That comes in several different models. There's the Royal Berkey, the Imperial Berkey, and the Crown Berkey. Each one's a little bit bigger. The Crown Berkey, I think, is the biggest one, and they go up in price, obviously. So you can check the price on their website. I'm not going to try to tell you prices because it could change from the time I do this video. So what I thought I'd do is go ahead and show you how you got to put this thing together, because it comes in a box and there's some assembly required. And I think there's a couple things that took me a minute to figure out. So I've kind of got it started. I took it back apart, and we're going to go over every little detail. So let's just get started. First of all, you got the lid, you have the bottom, and then you have the top. And the top's going to sit on top of it like so when it's all put together, like, well, we can't do it. The filters are there right now in the way, but it'll sit up here and have a lid that goes on top. And then it's got a little rubber base on the bottom. The premise is you fill the top up, the water filters down into the bottom. So the first thing they say to do is to go ahead and put the handle on the lid. So we'll do that. And just the one thing they say is just to do hand tight. So we got a screw and a little washer here. I'm not going to try to get you a close-up. You can figure that one out. Just put it through the hole inside the lid, and screw the knob on. Like I said, this ain't rocket science. This is just screwing a knob on. Okay, so there you go. That's done. Pretty easy. We'll set that aside. Here's what gets a little more complicated. The next thing you want to do is deal with the black filters elements. And the Big Berkey comes with 2. It has space for 4. There's 4 holes here in the top. Basically, if you want to add filters, you can do that optionally, and that'll allow you to. It'll allow the water to filter faster. Basically, you're still gonna filter the same amount of water, but it just goes faster because it's going through 4 filters instead of 2. So you see these filters are kind of wet. You have to prime these filters first before you can use them, because they're very fine pores. If you know anything about water filtration, basically the smaller the opening the water has to go through, the more stuff it can get out. And viruses are very small. These pores will take out viruses. This thing is, man, here's the box the filters came in. Here's the list of everything this stuff takes out. It's been tested, third-party tested. They've got all that stuff on their website. You can check it out if you want to do that. Like I said, we're not going to do that in this video. We're going to talk about the assembly and how to get this thing started up. Not just the assembly, but the initial startup. Sounds kind of fancy for just a water filter, doesn't it? So anyway, you can see there's a little water on these things because you have to prime these to get the air out of them, or they're going to just be really, really difficult to get water to go through them. So you kind of want to get them waterlogged first. And the way you do that is they give you this little priming disc that comes with it. Let me just say, I don't know if I'd throw it away, but I wouldn't try to use that. This is the way to do it right here. That also comes with this little prime thing. What is this thing called? It's called a, prime right. This is the way to do it. This thing here, I'm not going to bother to show you how they say to do it because it'll just frustrate you as much as it frustrated me. I made a mess everywhere and it still didn't work. This thing here works like a charm. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So these filters have a washer here and a little wing nut on top of them. So you want to take the wing nut off. You take a bottle of water, just a regular bottle of water, and take this blue filter thing, filter right, and just fit it over the bottle cap. This is some cheap bottles of water. This is like that nasty, really cheap plastic bottles. They're not the good ones, but you just get it on there where it's really on there really good. You can see it's all sealed on really good. Then turn the filter and poke it in all the way in like that, so it's all the way down. Now, let me show you. We're going to get this over here. We don't make too big a mess. I'm going to try to do it on camera where I'm not blocking the camera. Then you just want to squeeze this bottle until you start seeing water come all out. It's basically like it sweats all around. And this has already been primed, so it's pretty quick, but it took about a half a bottle really to fill this thing up. When that starts happening, then you're done. When it's got water kind of beading out, sweating all around it, then just rinse it off just to kind of get any dust, because usually there's a little filter dust and stuff there. Rinse it off and it's good to go. So I've already primed this one. So the next thing you're going to do is go ahead and put the spigot on, because there's a spigot that goes on the bottom. And if you're fancy, you can get a sight glass, an optional sight glass, to show you how much water's in here. But spigot comes with two different washers. It's got like a beveled washer here. It's got a cone shape and a flat one, and then a nut. You want to put the beveled washer on the spigot side so the cone is pointing inside, and then you want to screw that put that into the hole in the bottom container. Take the other washer and the nut and put it on the inside and screw it on like so. And they recommend you turn this thing upside down when you first put it on, and then just tighten the nut up inside. Just tighten it up hand tight, and what that's going to do is going to squeeze that bevel into the hole and help seal it up. It takes it a minute because it's got some threads on it. And then let me get this out of the way for a minute. It's probably going to leak everywhere, but that's okay. Okay, so you see now, see that I've got it inside there, and there it is right there. So now that this is upside down and it's hand tight, you want to get as tight as you can with your hands. So it's tight, right? And then, now that it's tight with your hands, hold it in place and turn the spigot the rest of the way and get it completely tight. You can turn that spigot 90 degrees, and that gives you just a really way to get it really tight. And that should prevent it from leaking. And we can test that with just this bottle of water right here, just to see, sort of test it to make sure it's not going to leak. I'm holding it up so it's kind of underwater, and there's no leaks right now. So there's not a lot of pressure, but there's still no leaks. So now what we're going to do is we'll take this thing here and try to fill it back up and get this water out of here as much as possible before I make a bigger mess. So the spigot's installed now. The next step is going to be you got a little clip that comes in one of these little bags. It comes in the bag, I think, that's got this hole right in it. It just goes on the top somewhere and just snap it on. It goes on the top of the bottom somewhere and just snap it on. All that's going to do is just provide you just a little tiny bit of an air brake to prevent so that there's no vacuum. This thing doesn't pull a vacuum, and it allows the water to flow through. Now, you want to take the top canister, and these filters have little black washers on them. They're going to go actually upside down in the top, like so. So that they'll be in the water that is filtered. And just want to put those up there, put the washer on the top side, and then screw your wing nut on the bottom, like so. And again, just hand tight's all you need. But you want it tight, hand tight, hand tight. And what I do is just go, once I got the wing nut as tight as I can get it, and I just kind of hold it, and then tighten the filter a little bit more, because you got a bigger grip on that. So And then the instructions say to put the filters in first, but I'm going to say if you're only putting 2 filters in, they're going to give you a couple of plugs as well with that. And you want to put those plugs in before the filters, probably, because it's going to be a lot easier to reach down in between here and hold them before these big filters are in the way. Trust me on that, okay? And basically, you put them in from the top. You got a washer, a rubber washer on top and on bottom. So put one on top, put it in from the top, and then put your other washer on and screw it up from the bottom. That way you got a solid pressure on top. It's just better to do it that way. And just get it, you know, hand tight. Do the other one. I don't guess it really matters which hole you put these in. I'm going to put them in opposite holes because, you know, that seems to make more sense to me. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and put the other black filter in place. When you get through, if you only have 2 filters, it's going to look like this. And don't worry about them being a little bit crooked in there. That's just because they just are. So it's going to filter in from the inside out, and it's going to come out these holes, and the water is going to drip down into the bottom canister. So this is going to sit on here like so. And it fits reasonably tight, but it's not a watertight seal. And this provides enough of this little clip provides enough of an air gap, so it's not going to be it's not going to pull a vacuum. It's kind of like sticking your finger over a straw. And then the lid also fits reasonably tight. So there's enough of an air gap there that you won't pull a vacuum. So now it's ready to test, because you want to make sure you've got the thing, got everything right, that it's going to work. So what they suggest doing in testing is taking 2 cups, clear cups, and we're going to put one here and one here, and then you want them underneath these spouts, because what we're going to do is we're going to put food coloring in here, and they give you some red food coloring, and it's going to take basically these 1 ounce. So they say 1 ounce per gallon. So these 2 bottles come with it to test it, and it needs to be artificial food coloring, not the really healthy natural kind, because that'll clog the pores up. So they're specific about that. And then we're going to set this on here so that the filters are on top of the cups, so that any water that filters through here should go down into each separate cup. Then we're going to fill this thing up with some dyed water, and we'll do a couple things. We'll see how long it takes to drain the water out of here, and we'll see if the water in the cups is red. Hopefully it should be clear, right? So let's do that. Let me get out of the way over here. And I've got some water jugs here. Let's see, I got a couple of gallons of water here actually. We'll take the food color on this one, off of this one, and we'll pour it in this gallon jug. Actually, let's just dump it in there so it'll get all cleaned out. And shake it up. Do the same thing with this one. And now let's pour it in the top up here. They're very specific not to pour the dye on the filters themselves, but to go ahead and mix up the water first. And let's just do the other gallon. And, ooh, that sucker's full, man. I can hear it running in there, so it's running into the cups. And I think what will happen is it's going to fill the cups up first, and then it will, when the cups get full, it'll overflow. So we're going to lift, when it gets down that low, we'll probably lift this up and take a look at the cups. But that's that, and let's give it a few minutes, and we'll see how long it takes. I've got 9:20 p.m. right now, and we'll see how long it takes this thing to start filtering down, and then we'll come back and take a look at it. You know what, while we're waiting real quickly, I'm going to show you, first of all, they also, I'm not sure if this comes with them or not, but this came with mine. It came in the package, so I'm pretty sure it does. They give you a glass water bottle. You know, glass is the best thing to drink out of as far as cleanliness, because it is inert. So that's pretty cool. But it's also kind of breakable. So they also sent me this thing they have. It's called a Boro 16-ounce sleeve, which is pretty cool, because what it is, it's a stainless steel sleeve, which is also going to provide some insulation. It's a double wall stainless steel sleeve that fits around this wide mouth glass bottle. which is pretty cool. So you can just have the glass bottle. It's got a little cushion on the bottom of it. So I'm not going to say it's probably not unbreakable, but definitely probably does a really good job of protecting this glass a little better than just having glass. And it's going to also provide some insulation to help keep your water colder. So you could fill this up from here, put it in the fridge, and carry this with you, and have a really good way to keep not only your water cold but also pure. You don't leach any impurities out of plastic. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Glass is totally inert, so no lead, no BPA's, none of that stuff. I forgot to put my little rubber base on here, but it just goes on bottom. Now we'll wait for the water to filter through. It's down about a ½ an inch. The instructions do say that, the first time you use it, it may be a little slow, because if there's air, in the filters, that it's gonna, the water's got to get through the filter, so it's got to displace all that air first. So, and they also say, by the way, it's a process. You need to throw the first batch away. Since we're testing this, we're probably going to throw this batch and the next batch away. So you're going to have to throw 5 gallons of water away, and it'll take however long that takes. But once that's done, then you're good to go. And we're down about 3/4 of an inch now. So let me see if I can pour the rest of this in there. Yep. All right. Now we'll put the lid on, just to keep the trash out of it, or whatever, dust out of it, and let it go. I'll be back to you as soon as it gets done. Okay, I'm not sure I thought this through very well, because I got a lot of water in here. This thing weighs probably, so we got close to 2 gallons. That's going to be about 16 pounds. So maybe we got 15 pounds now. I got to balance this thing and try to get these cups out here to see it, so I can show you. So hopefully we won't make a complete Lucy show out of this. Let's see. Okay, sorry for turning my back to you, but gives you a chance to look at this really cool USCCA shirt, right? So anyway, let's take the lid off here. We're going to just set that to kick it back there just a little bit. Maybe that'll give us enough room to get these out of here. And just to show you, come on now, come on. Don't spill, don't spill, don't spill, don't spill. So as you can see, this is completely clear. Don't spill, don't spill, don't spill, don't spill. Okay, bam. There we go. And it's been, it's 9:35 now. So, and we're down to about right here. So we probably put in what was it, 15 minutes, maybe a little more than ½ a gallon, maybe 2/3 of a gallon. Like I said, the first time they said it was going to be a little slower, but as you can see, this water is completely clear, no pink tinge whatsoever, which means the filters are working. So the easiest way to tell how much water is left is just to check it from here. You can get the sight glass thing. And speaking of checking the level, one more thing is really, really important. You want to make sure that your bottom is empty before you fill up the top, because if you don't do that, it's going to keep draining water down, and it'll run out this little crack here, and then you'll have a mess everywhere. So anyway, but again, check Berkey's website for all the details about their third-party testing and everything. But they have a reputation that is unparalleled in the preparedness community, I guess, for having really, really good water filters, and not just filters, but purifiers. They remove viruses, all sorts of things. And also, I don't have these, but they have additional add-on filters that go on the bottom of the black ones that remove fluoride and arsenic. So I'm probably going to order some of those, because I'm that guy that thinks fluoride is bad for you. It's certainly not proven to be good for you. So anyway, that's the Big Berkey water filter. And hopefully this has been a helpful video. And thanks again to the folks at Berkey for sending me this so I can show it to you. There'll be a link in the video description below where you can go and get your own. And if you get one through that link, it'll help benefit the channel a little bit too. So it's a win-win. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.